futurist, author, consultant. Dr. Bill Bruck is your ticket to e-business success in the new millennium. Bilingual in information technology and organizational development, Bill is known internationally for his insightful, provocative, and interactive presentation style. Bill will easily connect with your audience as he challenges them to find and apply effective business strategies for today and tomorrow.
But the safe trade routes aren't safe anymore, because sailing ships are giving way to steamships, and steamships are giving way to nuclear-powered vessels, and we've got to change with the times. And I guess that's what I'd like to do with you today, is talk to you about how I see the times changing and how I see the opportunities for those of us who are in education, who are in technology, to be making an impact in the world, and the sorts of things I see from my perspective as what's needed for us to do that. And perhaps I could start, golly, is it almost 30 years ago now when Alvin Toffler wrote Future Shock? Of course, Toffler told us, and the whole idea is that the world, but in this particular case, the business world, is changing very rapidly. The pace of change is itself accelerating. And what that leaves us with is a world in which we need to change as well to keep up with it. We need to change in order to be competitive.
Grounded in a thorough understanding of organizational systems and the people who make them work, as well as over 2 decades of technical expertise, Bill Bruck is the right person to inspire your audience to success in the 21st century.
Amazon.com doesn't have any stores. They don't have any cappuccino. They don't have any quartets. As a matter of fact, Amazon.com doesn't have any books. They don't own a book. The interesting thing, however, is that Amazon.com is not a piece of cool technology called e-commerce. Amazon.com is a new way of doing business. How many of you know what a stealth company is? A stealth company is a company with a killer app and a new business model that steals market share in its market.
Bill will share with your audience the strategies that new e-businesses are using to gain a competitive edge over traditional organizations. Your audience will learn which technologies will prove most critical in the next 5 years, along with Bill's 3-step process for shifting immediately to e-business thinking.
What is a system? A system is a bunch of interconnected parts. A system is a mobile, like this. And if I want this little black piece of the mobile to move, what else could I do in the mobile to get it to move? Anybody? Anything. See, you've been here before. You were here last week. What's fascinating about this is that if I make any change in the organization, to the staffing, to the technology, if I make a change to the budgeting process, everything else is going to be affected. So what we've got to do in figuring out the business solutions for the next 5 years and how technology impacts it is to take a systems approach. But, great buzzword, how do we do it? Today I'm going to introduce you to a model that I use in my consulting practice. It's the Scan, Focus, Act model.
A prolific author, Bill has written over 10 books and numerous articles on the effective use of information technology. Many of his best-selling books on Microsoft Office, WordPerfect Suite, Perfect Office, and GroupWise have been translated into numerous foreign languages and sold internationally. Dr. Bruck is an accomplished speaker, a licensed psychologist and social scientist, and a proven authority on human motivation, adult learning, organizational change, and group dynamics. Bill's active membership in the National Speakers Association, the American Psychological Association, and the Organization Development Network make him uniquely qualified to keep your audience focused, engaged, and actively participating.
I came into class, and I stood there and I said, Introduction to WordPerfect class, I'd like everybody, WordPerfect turned on, type your name there, hit enter. Yes, sir? You can't find the enter key. No problem. No problem. It's right here. There's the enter key. Okay? Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to type your phone number. Hit the enter key. Yes, sir? No problem. Hold in place. In 8 hours, he never found the enter key. I walked 10½ miles that day. Dorothy, what would you have done? Dorothy laughs, reaches over to her purse. Out of her purse, she picks up a bunch of red dots. She says, I always carry these with me, don't you, Bill? And I felt awful stupid. Because what I had done was I had taken a learning strategy called show the person, and it hadn't worked, so then I repeated it. And then when it didn't work a second time, I repeated it many more times. For me, this is almost a metaphor. It's my own. Remember, the red dot is my little mnemonic for think out of the box.
Participants at Bill's presentations report that Bill is informative, thought-provoking, and entertaining. One of the best we have heard. He was way out of the box, exactly where he wanted the rest of us. Inspired, well-organized, dynamic. This was a great presentation regarding some of the most important issues facing today's corporations. Dr. Bill Bruck's message is critical to both traditional and e-business organizations. Treat your audience to Bill Bruck's inspiring and mind-expanding vision of business in the 21st century.